Hey guys, welcome back to TNT Creations here. Today and for the next little while, she's gonna need quite a bit of work. We've got our 1954 Ford Mainline. And we just went and picked this car up today actually. And we're actually pretty stoked to be working on it. So it's a 239 Y-block V8. It's a 4-door. Kind of rough, ain't gonna lie. It's kind of rough. She needs quite a little bit of work, but today we're gonna be focused on trying to get it running and just kind of take it from there and just see where the project wants to go. We did a little bit of digging around inside the truck there, found a couple things. From what we can gather, some of the last times it was worked on, we found a couple receipts from 1979. Somebody had a glass pack and a tailpipe put on it. And then the last known registration that we could find in the glove box was in '83, and the odometer read 4791. And we'll show you guys the odometer. Right now the odometer only reads 4880, I believe. And now that's probably somewhere close to 300 and 4,000. I mean, the car's a little rusty and she's pretty beat up. But from what we can tell, since '83, she's maybe had 100 miles put on her. It does look like somebody came through here, maybe did a 12-volt system on it, did a little bit of rewiring. Best we could tell, there's a 2011 battery in it. So maybe somebody was tinkering around a little bit, maybe did a little bit of something, but come with us throughout this journey of the old girl and see what we can do. Well, starting out here again, this will be the passenger side. Car's not in too bad of shape. Rockers need some work and some attention. But besides that, there's really not too much going on. Definitely a repaint, signs of that all over the car. Really liking the old V8 emblem and the Mainline emblem. But need some TLC everywhere, kinda. Just your normal paint chip, Bondo flaking, rusting in the rockers, but
Door don't latch?
No, door does not latch, this side at least. But door skins, fenders, no real big damage, no real big dents, no hail damage. Glass is all there. I'm not going to say it's great. As you can tell, it is separating, coming apart. But it's all there. One of the things that kind of drew us in here, the floor is in really good shape. Door cards are in pretty good shape. Dash is in pretty good shape. Be looking at a headliner. But overall, solid bones on the car. Here's the back. Trunk latch doesn't work. It needs a little work on the trunk latch. But the chrome on the car is in decent shape. It's not great, but it is in decent shape. The trunk floor is in really good shape too. We couldn't find any rust spots, anything like that. Pretty solid. When we crawled underneath it, we did see you know, a newish gas tank. Not new, but newer at least.
Someone did try to rewire this. Got a 20 circuit kit.
Oh, yep. Somebody did buy a 12-volt kit for the car, trying to rewire it at some point in time. But overall, this is the front seat here. It was unbolted. We just decided to take it out. But same thing, driver's side, just, you know, Bondo flaking, a little bit of rust. The rockers are pretty chewed up, but door skins, fenders, the roof, pretty good shape. So this is actually pretty interesting. We didn't even see it before, but this 20 circuit kit, I wonder if there's any sort of date, or maybe we can find a receipt or something. It's got some 8 tracks. The guy said the seats were reupholstered, and they're not looking too shabby. The car has good rubber all the way around it. The remains of somebody trying to wire the car are all over the vehicle. Wires here, wires there. This is definitely going to be a bit of a tackle trying to rewire the car, but doesn't look too bad. Footprint gas pedal came with it. So under the hood, like I said, we've got a 239 Y block. You can see, you know, the remnants of some new wiring. Just looks like it needs to be cleaned up. Some mice definitely got into it a little bit. The guy that we purchased this from did say that he bought it, was going to do something with it, seemed like, and never did. So the front isn't horrible, definitely needs some cleaning up. Needs little pieces here and there. Has a couple spots that are definitely going to be boogers to get. So just to kind of start things out here, we're just going to kind of give everything a once over. We already kind of ran through some wiring just because she's pretty tore up in here from mice and different things like that. So we just kind of made sure that the car's not going to catch fire, anything like that. Not a lot of loose ends hanging around, anything too spectacular, just kind of boring. So we got all that figured out. We're going to work on putting a new battery in it. We did already see it does turn over. It turns over pretty good by itself. Or I'm sorry, with a wrench. Seems to turn over just fine with a wrench. I could hear compression building in the cylinders. So check the oil. The oil's pretty good. Nothing too alarming or anything like that. It is out of antifreeze. So throughout this whole process, don't be afraid to let your mind wander a little bit. Try and figure out with us why this thing was parked and why it's just been sitting, or if maybe it was electrical. Maybe somebody decided to redo it and they got tired of it, or did it get parked because of a bad head gasket, bad transmission, a diff that's no good? So, yep. There you go. When you do go hooking up a battery to something that you haven't really been around, make sure to pay attention. If it starts sparking, drawing an arc, anything that may concern you, make sure you're watching. Don't have anything trying to burn, cause a problem, start a fire. None of that good stuff.
Nope. I think we're good. Watch yourself.
All right, we're. Ho, ho, ho! Get the yeah.
She sounds good. She's not galloping or not?
No big gallops or hiccups. Woo. All right. So we're good there then. It does turn over by itself. So I guess the next couple things we're going to just be looking for: spark, fuel, and air. And we're probably just going to bottle feed the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. We're not going to do anything, any sort of trying to hook up fuel delivery or anything like that. We'll just sit here and bottle feed it. Second, just try and find ourselves a little bit of spark. When I was turning it over by hand earlier, when we went to the guy's house to buy it, I could hear the compression kind of leaking out. So we'll just go from there. But let me hook up this coil real quick. And we'll go from there.
Don't mind me, I'm just having an arts and crafts session over here. So we know which key's which.
Now this is the original coil that came with the car. So there is a very, very good chance it does not work at all. So I just went on ahead and unhooked the coil and, you know, hooked your power wire going from your coil to your distributor. I just went on ahead and unhooked all of that just because it was easy to get to it. I wanted to look up the numbers to it, kind of verify that we are dealing with a 12-volt system. And so that way we're not trying to spark off when we're trying to crank it over or anything like that. So just to make it a little bit easier. All we're doing right now is just hooking up our handy dandy little spark plug tester. Tucker's gonna go back in there and just crank on her for a second. We're gonna watch this light, see if it has any sort of spark to it at all, to see if we have to dive into the electrical system or anything like that. That's gonna spark off the body. You wanna hold on to it and I'll crank it? Whoop!
Sure, I guess you know if I get some. Just don't let your hand touch the body. Okay.
Coming hot.
Right. Yep. Okay. Nope. Nothing.
Big surprise, no spark. So All I'm really going to do now is find a place of ground here, see if we have power to the coil at cranking. So Tucker's going to go in there, turn on the key, crank on a little bit just to make sure we're getting some power to the coil. Just flick the key on. Yep, we got power. Okay, light did come on. Okay, so now Tucker's gonna crank. Go again. No power out of the coil. So we did not a surprise. Not one bit. Coil's probably been in here for ages. It's junk. You can shake it around and there's some pieces jumbling around in there. So we'll put a new coil on, see if we can get some spark coming out of it, and go from there. Movie magic. New coil, bad coil. So we're just going to go on ahead and put this new coil on. Tucker, if you don't mind, will you pop that distributor cap? Just look in there. I don't know if this is a point or with the 12 volt system, if they put a new distributor in it. I don't know what they did. So you're learning along with me. Oh. Yeah. Look, you want it? I'll show you. Come here. So it looks like somebody came in here, messed around a little, maybe put in a new condenser, maybe some new points. So we're not going to test those. We're just going to put the cap right back on it and say they're good until they aren't. Back to the program here. You get it? I can't fit my meatballs in here. Oh, goodness. Did it fall off? There it is. Wow. Get up in there. I can't reach it with my sausages. Always make sure to have a little guy around who can get his little tangers in somewhere, you know? Without testing if the new coil's good or anything, we're just gonna hook it up, throw everything back like it was, the spark tester, and go with it. All right. No, we're just gonna see if we get spark. Get your spark wheel on line. Ready? Go for it. You got spark? Yeah. You do? Yeah. What was, hold on, hold it again. Give me a minute. Okay. Spark? Yeah. Okay. It's a little faint. Huh? It's a little faint, but it's there. We got a little bit of spark. Not a lot, but just enough maybe. Now we have, like I said, no clue when the last time this thing ran. And probably looking forward, we should have unhooked the fuel supply to the carburetor. Probably should have done that, you know. May or may not have been pumping old fuel into the carburetor this whole time. So we'll just unhook it right off the carburetor here. And without putting any fuel in it, we're just going to crank on it. See if we got fuel or not. Which, I don't hear anything. So I don't think we do. The fuel pump may be shot. But we're just going to unhook it, crank on it for just a second. Don't know if anything's in the tank. Mainly just see if something's going to come out, squirt us in the eyes, you know, start a fire, so, anything.
I think this fitting's long enough.
Okay. Crank on just a little. You're good? Okay. We're going to throw a little bit of fuel in it, but I just want you guys to get on in here a little bit closer. Sorry for the wobbles. We're still
Wind noises, everything.
Yeah, we're still working on the camera setup. We're still getting it dialed in, but so I'm gonna throw just a little bit.
Fill the bowl up.
I'm gonna throw just a little bit down in there. Try and put some down the old valley tube there. That's probably enough. All we're looking for here, guys, is maybe just a little bark. Just something to tell us that she'll wake up. That's it. Go ahead.
Coming at you.
Yep.
Again?
You just... Oh, careful with the starter now. Go ahead. Whoa! That is not healthy.
Got to put a little bit more in her.
That is definitely flooded now. Okay.
We got a runner.
That is a runner. Oh my goodness. That fired up way too easy. I don't know if you guys can see that. Well, no, you can't see it. Lean in here. Come here. Right down here, we had a little bit of fuel seepage whenever we were dumping a little bit of fuel into it. And she is sucking major air. So she's definitely got some vacuum leaks that aren't very surprising, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get her running just a little bit longer. Try and fill this float tube again. Yep, go for it. Wow, that's quiet. Wow. Hell. I don't even know if you guys could hear that run or not. This thing is quiet as can be. Nice and quiet. Okay. Well, I don't even know what our next step is now.
Get running a little longer.
Yeah, I guess maybe we can see if we can get her to maybe idle out. Maybe see if we can fine tune some vacuum leaks.
She's already warmed up.
Oh, wow. Yep. I need to put some water in the radiator. She's low. It's probably going to leak like a sieve, but that's all right. Just to give it a little something to chew on while she's sitting there warming up. And see if we can't just let her purr for a little bit. Woo! I don't know if we're going to reuse any of that. We just took off the sediment bowl off this fuel pump, and boy, she looks greasy. Well,
Lots of rest.
do we want to get a jerry can and just hook the fuel pump straight to a jerry can, see if we can get the fuel pump to work?
That is a crispy filter.
Clean it up a little bit, and we can unhook that hose. I've got that 3/8 fuel line. We can just run 3/8 fuel line straight into the 5-gallon can.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we need to clean all this rust out.
Yeah. We'll get the air gun out here and blow it out.
Whatever works.
Okay. All right. We'll be back shortly. Well, we got in here and we cleaned out the sediment bowl and cleaned up the fuel pump best we could, and cleaned up pretty nice. We got ourselves just a jerry can, piece of 3/8 fuel line, ran up over the car. Gonna try and see if we can make that fuel pump suck a little bit, suck some of that fuel out of there, and just see if we can get it running long enough. We did fill it up with water. It'll be fine for the time being. Don't see the radiator really leaking anything out. It's probably been sitting for 15-20 minutes now. Still full, so we'll just let it sit. We'll leave this off here, see if we can get that thermostat to function or anything like that. So dump a little bit down and see if we can get it long enough to pick up a little bit of fuel. Doing anything? I need to try to prime that fuel pump. Can you see it moving around in there? It was bubbling, so it's trying. Yeah, we need to prime it. So, as you guys seen, car actually runs really good. Sounds pretty good. Nice and quiet. No ticks, no clatter, nothing like that. Only got it to run for a little bit because we couldn't get the dang dough fuel pump to work. Now, you probably can't see that, but there's a little weep hole on the side of these fuel pumps. They leak fuel. Probably can't hear that, but when you hear that noise and air's coming out, something, seal in here, something's going bad. Diaphragm seal, something is wrong. So don't be the kind of guy that just shoves something in there, goes on, because what's going to happen if you shove something in there, there's seals on the back of here. Those seals are going to end up rotting. They may not be when you shove something in there or glue this shut, but sooner or later those seals on the backside are going to go bad. Then what's going to happen is you're going to get a bunch of gas in your crankcase and mixed in with the oil, and you're not even going to know it. The only way you'd know it is if you pull the dipstick, smell fuel, taste fuel, whatever the case may be. So, in light of getting a new fuel pump, because it just so happens that these were a 1 year only. This shaft right here is a special shaft. And you can find some on eBay that guys have rebuilt for a couple $100, or you can find some, you can find some aftermarket ones made, but they're all special order. They all cost $200 to get here. And if you're a numbers matching guy and you like that kind of stuff, then go for it. But we're just trying to make a nice, simple, cheap daily rig. So we're gonna do the right thing and put an electric fuel pump on this car. Yeah, it's not the most right thing to do. That's what we're gonna do. These cars From everything I've read, looked up, and seen, these cars like about 5.5 pounds fuel pressure. So we're gonna put a 4 PSI electric fuel pump on this car. Gonna have to put a toggle on it somewhere. I don't like it. Maybe we can wire it into the ignition to where, you know, key on, fuel pump on, something like that, make it look a little nicer. You don't want to go drilling holes in this thing. Yeah, it's a little rusted and stuff like that, but you can't go drilling holes in the old girl if you don't have to. So we're going to be putting an electric fuel pump on it. Next time you guys see it, we'll be just kind of running it, make sure head gaskets, water pump, everything like that's going to come around just fine. So be waiting for that. 80 degrees today. Something like 80. I don't know. A lot of these videos you're going to see little mismatch, different cuts, different shirts, same stupid idiots, you know, the basics. We have full-time jobs. This is just for fun, hoping maybe you learn something or you laugh at us, one of the two. Last time we talked to you guys, fuel pump, no good. So what we're going to do today, change on the oil, see if we can get it running long enough to see if it's going to get hot, overheat, anything weird's going to happen. So we'll just get right into it. First thing, I'll just start changing on the oil.
And we have already installed the electric fuel pump, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that. So this is where we decided to put it, and we just have it, the wires going up under the hood where we can just run it off the battery for now. We'll probably end up hooking it to the ignition. That way when the key turns on, the pump turns on. And always make sure to put a filter before your pump, or you could ruin your pump if you have stuff in your tank.
Holy cow. This thing really is like a 1-inch drain plug. This is ridiculous. I mean, look at that thing. There's no way. That is a factory drain plug. It's like an inch. Like an inch. Oh, wow. There is some serious black goop coming out of this old girl. Oh man, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I mean, look at this stuff coming right out of the plug. I mean, that's, it has been a little while since it has been changed. But probably a good thing we decided to go on ahead and change on it, not let it run too long with this stuff in it. Now, I will tell you that it's in your best interest to run these for a little bit. Get them nice and hot before you do change the oil on it. Just so that way you can get all that gunky stuff down into the pan when it gets nice and hot. And we're probably going to change this oil again at some point in time, whether it be, you know, a week, a month, however. We're just really trying to save this 239. First year of the Y block, so it's really pretty interesting. I'm hoping somebody wrote something on that filter, or, you know, maybe we can see just an age on the filter or something from this filter that'll maybe tell us a little bit more about when the last time somebody actually cared for this was. So, see if I can reach in here. It wasn't that loose, and I'm not that tough. Oh, I already loosened it a little bit with a wrench before I even got down here. Okay. So it's a federated. That's what kind of oil filter it is. I'm not seeing any markings or anything like that on the filter. So maybe we can look up if Federated's still around. I really don't know. Just run Wix. So, wow. I mean, there is a brass ring on it, so somebody cared. But that is a huge oil plug. I don't know much. This is still a learning curve, but I'm having a hard time believing that this actually came with this massive of a drain plug. Maybe it did. I'm not calling it a liar. Just, you know. So we're gonna let that kind of drip dry. Kind of do its thing. I'm gonna work on getting the other oil filter out. Get in around. I'm curious, and maybe if one of you guys know, you can tell us, but what exactly is this? It's looking like some sort of old oil filter maybe, and a drain. I mean, is that like a, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be oil or water. You guys can hear, car's running, got the oil changed. Nothing spectacular there, just changing oil. Starting to notice we got an exhaust leak. Doesn't sound like anything too major. One thing we did want to say, this is the oil we use, just Rotella 1540. No special reason, it's what my grandpa told me. It's what he uses, it's what I use. If your grandpa tells you Mobil 1, run Mobil 1. Schaefer's, they're all pretty good oils. Just, this is what he told us, so this is what we use. So, we're gonna let the car build heat. We got our little radiator gauge in here. It's gonna let us know how hot the radiator's getting, if we got a thermostat that opens or not. So we're really just gonna kind of let it sit here and idle. I did leave the breather off because it did have a little bit of blow by the first couple times we started it. So I'm hoping with it getting warm, maybe everything will start to come around and that blow by will go away. So now we're just gonna wait, let it run. Hopefully it'll come around, not get hot, show us that it's gonna be all right. And maybe we can even look at trying the transmission, see if anything's gonna happen there. As the car's sitting here warming up, just kind of doing its thing. One thing we didn't really talk about, I mean, we did show you guys, but the wiring mess that comes along with this car is gonna be a bit of a hassle. I'm not gonna lie to you. The guy we did buy it from, I guess, was gonna try it at one point in time because he gave us this nice big laminated piece of paper. So that's gonna need to be addressed, but for right now, we just need to know, will it run? Will it get hot? Will it drive? We already know it won't stop. So that's gonna be a problem in its own, but not smoking. It's running pretty good besides the exhaust leak. So we'll get back with you guys when this thing's nice and warm and if we start to have any problems. All right, idle down the choke. That's cool if that works. All right, just 3 on the tree. I haven't really driven many of these, but I think down is first. Undo the parking brake. Parking brake works, but nothing else. So we're just gonna see if it'll creep forward. It's got first. Try reverse. Got first and reverse, so I guess the next thing is just take her on a little drive, see if she'll just mosey on down the road. All right. Seems to idle around pretty good. Just little things. Gotta hit the, oh, a little hard. Gotta be a little gentle with that. All right. Just go around the block, see if it has any other gears. Oh, if I don't kill it, come on. What, she's just sitting here purring down the road. All right, let's see if we can get second. Oh, she has second. Spunky. Oh, look at that, the little speedometer needle's even moving. So we put it in here and it'll actually have a speedometer. That's pretty neat. All right. There's something about cruising the old rig. Wow. Oh goodness. Oh, we got traffic ahead. Okay. We are licensed and insured, in case anyone was really wondering. Whoop, a little hard. Okay. See if we can hit first again. Oh, killed it. Good thing she fires right up though. Oh. Don't fail me now, old girl. Man. Oh, I was in third. That explains it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. And I'm not confident enough in the car to see if it has third or not, because we're kind of relying on a 70-year-old handbrake, but we will see if she's got a little bit of spunk. Oh yeah! Might need a little tuning and adjusting, but she runs good. We got lights at all? No lights. Okay. That'll need to be addressed. Maybe later. See if we can downshift. Oh! It will downshift. Might need to learn the finesse of a 3 on the tree. Another thing we're really looking to try is this little lever down here. This little guy. Apparently, this car has an overdrive once you're in third gear. That's pretty neat. But obviously, we got some more work before she is road ready. But this just gets everything going just a little bit more. Gets me so excited. It's freaking awesome. Car runs, moves down the road, does pretty good, and all the gears seem to be there. We didn't get into third, we didn't try overdrive, but reverse, first, and second are there, and they seem to be strong. Grinding, we're gonna have to figure out how to drive 3 on the tree a little bit better. But all in all, I think we got a heck of a good base to do a little something with. So over these next couple episodes and things like that, you guys are going to see us work on this car a little bit more. You're going to see us work on the Highboy. You're going to see my F100 come into play and the paint and the body work on it. And just the odds and ends things that we do wrenching on these old vehicles and trucks and the things we like to do. So I hope you guys can stick around, get a laugh, maybe learn a little something, and just hang out with us and kind of grow with us. One thing we did want to say here is we've upgraded from underneath the Moonlight. We now have a covered carport with some lights in it. So that way we're not always just outside wrenching. I know in the first video you guys seen, we were working in a shop. It wasn't quite ours. Somebody just let us work in it. But now we got our own little spot that we can work in, wrench in, do a little something with. So we'll see you guys on the next video and what else we're gonna do around here.